Hi folks, the latest real estate numbers are in for week ending April 26th. You know, when I put these numbers together, I thought right away something must be wrong, so I double checked them and triple checked them. We'll get into that in a second. I want to just say thank you to all the people that are watching our video. I really appreciate your comments. Not all of them agree with what I'm saying. That's okay. It's nice to get into the conversation. Like the video below, subscribe, hit the little bell so that way you get reminded when these new videos come up. If you know anyone that could benefit from honest, raw data, the way the market is actually happening, if anyone could benefit that you know of from the real numbers, let them know about this video, ask them to subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So let's get into the numbers. Now, I said something must be wrong. That's because some things are happening opposite than what the popular vote is out there. And the popular vote is, wow, prices are going to be crashing, everything's coming down. Well, let me show you what's really happening, and you decide, you know, what makes sense and what doesn't. So here we go. I'm going to start off with Toronto, and this is not GTA, this is just Toronto. And freehold prices, so there's no condo prices in here, and I'm breaking it down by week. Now, if you've watched this video before, you know that I'm breaking it down week as of the first week of March. If this is your first time watching this video, the reason why I'm starting with the first week of March is it's the high point of our year so far. So January, we were up here. February, we were here. March, we were here as far as average sold prices go. The trend was going up, up, up. And now we are going into the opposite direction ever since we started with the COVID and the health crisis. And the middle of March here, we were told to stay home. So how is this affecting real estate prices? Well, for last week's sales, we did 99 units freehold in Toronto, and prices actually, the average sold price jumped up. Now, I know a lot of people have a problem with that because, I don't know, maybe it's like watching a car race. It's not a good race unless there's a crash. Well, prices went up last week. That's average sold price. Now, here's something that could be affecting the average sold price. The previous week, homes that have sold over 2 million or more were 4. Last week, we had 11 homes sell over $2 million or more. Does that affect the average sold price? Of course it does. So are all prices going up? We have to dive deeper into the numbers to tell you exactly. This is a summary of average sold price. So let's break it down and look at this a little bit further. When we compare the high point of the year to where we are now, since the first week of March, prices have dropped 16.5%. That's just a few weeks. So yes, prices have come down since the beginning of March, but since last week, they bounced up a little bit. Looking at sales and comparing to where we were last year we sold 293 during the same week. This year we sold 99. Now, of those 99 sales, 33 were sold at list price or more. That's a third. So why do I look at how many have sold at list price or more? It's really to prepare you. So if you're out there looking to buy, there's going to be situations where you need to buy quick, you need to put your money down and put the offer on that home, or you're in a position where you're actually, a third of those sales were competed in multiple offers. So this is to prepare you for what's happening out there. I know we're in a health crisis situation. I know the mentality is, wow, activity is so low, sales are low, listings are low, but that's where it stops. Prices are not necessarily low. There are fewer available for sale, but on many of those, in this case for last week, a third, you're competing with other buyers. So that's the reality on the street. That's not somebody that's sitting in an office that has this is from somebody who has their finger on the pulse. I'm telling you, you're competing in multiple offers when you're out there trying to buy. Not in every situation, and there are some great deals out there. There are some I have to sell type of properties, and you can get it for a great deal, but most often than not, you're going to be competing. Let's look at the actual average sold price compared to what it was last year. So during the same week last year, we're down slightly by less than 1%. So we're almost at where we were last year for average sold price. And many times when you hear prices in real estate, you're comparing 1 year versus the previous year, the same time period. So that's what I'm doing. I'm comparing last week versus the same week last year. Sales are basically the same, or average sold price, I should say, is basically the same. But here's an interesting little thing here. I said that this year, of properties that sold over 2 million or more was 11. Last year, there were 32. 3 times more properties sold at 2 million or more. And we're sitting basically at the same average sold price. When I look at that, my first thought is, wow, this number for last year should be much higher. What's happening is those properties in the lower end of the register, around the 1.1, 1.2, 1,800,000, it's those properties that have kind of come up in value. So prices are fairly strong. They haven't dropped like the sales numbers have, or activity. Looking at new listings, in Toronto we had 171 new listings come on the market. So there's activity, way less than what it was last year at 684 for new listings, but we still have 171 new listings. Looking at Vaughan, prices from average sold price from 1 week to the next jumped up. I had to double and triple check this number, and when I looked closer, I saw that there was 4 or 5 homes that were between 1.2 and just under 1.4. So that brought up the average sold price. Now, there were only 10 homes sold, and actually each week there's 10, 11, 12 homes sold, so it's really hard to get an accurate average sold price. One sale could really skew the numbers one way or another, but nevertheless, this is what they are right now with 10 units sold, no homes sold in the $2 million mark or more, but 4 of those 10 last week sold at list price or more. So they're competing still for some of the good properties out there, or the good price properties. Comparing to the first week of March, we're down only 5.8% from when the coronavirus or health crisis started. Looking at sales versus last year, we're way down. That's no surprise. I don't have to double check those numbers. The sales numbers, the average sold price, I had to double check. Compared to last year, we are 2.7% lower as far as average sold price than what we were last year. But this year we sold no homes during this week at 2 million or more. Last year we sold 6. So to only be down 2.7% tells me that the homes under the 2 million mark have actually come up in value. That's just a quick analysis. This is by no means you looking at your home and saying it went down 2.7% or it went up. Your neighborhood is going to react in its own way. This is a general summary. Things aren't as bad as people are thinking, or unfortunately people are saying. And there's realtors saying how bad things are out there. Activity is low. Prices have not yet bottomed or come down in a significant way. Looking at new listings, we had 31 new listings in Vaughan. Let's go on to the condo market. Now I'm going to start off with Vaughan first. The reason is there's so few condo sales, it's really hard to take these numbers very serious. But we've kind of stayed the same now with the condo prices in Vaughan, and we're down 9.3% from where they were at the beginning of March. Looking at sales, we sold 16 last year. Prices now for a couple weeks in a row have basically stayed the same in comparison to where they were last year. So condo prices in Vaughan, even though sales are very low, they really haven't moved much. We've got 17 new listings, and it's actually not that far off from where they were last year. Now, going to Toronto, and I'm more excited about talking about Toronto in this situation because there's more volume. 61 sales is still not huge numbers to really talk about, but the average sold price for condos did come down a little bit over the week. We're down 15% in average sold price from where we were at the beginning of March. Now, of these 61, 21 sold at list price or more, so a third. Now, the condo market is different than the freehold market as far as its behavior. There's different type of mentality towards condos. There's different investors. There's a lot of investors involved in the condo market, so it behaves a little bit different. But when we look at sales compared to last year, wow, we sold 350 condos during this week. Last year, we've sold 61 only this year. So activity is way down. Prices were a little bit lower than where we were last year this time, 4.2%. So again, in the condo market, just like freehold, prices have not come down. These are I'm double checking these because I get a bunch of calls from people saying, oh yeah, prices are going crazy, they're going to drop, they're going to go this. Well, it's happening in different fields, but real estate is different, especially real estate in Toronto. The rest of Canada, real estate could just go completely down and terrible, and prices can go nuts. Toronto's a different market. It behaves on its own. Supply, demand, and as long as the banks are still giving money, people have a way, people want real estate. So supply, demand is a big factor. Let's look at new listings. We had 300, just last week, 300 new condo listings in Toronto. When I see this number go up and I see sales kind of coming down, what I can envision is the condo market that has been strong for years. I can see prices starting to come down a little bit and cool off, but we're not there yet. We're nowhere near there yet. Folks, we have a great market out there. We're not allowed to go out there and really buy the way we want. This is not the typical spring market. However, prices are strong. They have come down a bit, but they're nowhere near what maybe a lot of people are expecting. Sorry to disappoint if that's where you are, what you're thinking. I'm giving you the numbers the way they actually are happening right now. I'm not making any of these things up. There's different ways of interpreting it, and what's going on in your neighborhood, I keep saying this, that's going to be the deciding factor of where prices are going for the home you're living in or the home you want to buy. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I hope it's helping you with your decision. If anything, I hope it's just helping you to stay informed, and I hope you know more now after watching this than you did beforehand. Subscribe below. It really helps me out and encourages me to keep producing these videos for you. Subscribe, hit the bell so you're reminded of the new video. Comment below. I love to hear your comments. I comment back on all your questions and comments. My name is Santo Sessa with RE/MAX Premier. Be safe and have a great day.